Every time you open a file, send a message, or load a web page, you are navigating a sprawling physical architecture. Technological anxiety often stems from being dropped into this environment without a guide. You are asked to navigate a complex, high-stakes grid without a floor plan. Viewing the digital interface as a structural landscape provides a framework for every movement you make on the screen. The baseline of this landscape is a single glowing switch pulsing on and off, 1 and 0. This is a bit. Grouping 8 of these signals together creates a single byte, your first structural brick. When you multiply that brick by 1,000, you get a kilobyte. 1,000,000 creates a megabyte. Stacked by the billions, they form a petabyte, a towering digital skyscraper of storage built from the same simple on-off signals. Massive digital complexity is the compounding result of these identical binary decisions. At the center of the city stands the central processing unit. This hub dictates the flow of every decision, calculating the route for all data. The motherboard acts as the highway infrastructure, a rigid network of pathways that physically routes every command to and from that central hub. RAM serves as a fast-paced, temporary holding zone. It sustains the data needed for immediate execution, clearing itself the moment a task is finished, to make room for the next arrival. Hardware functions like an urban bureaucracy, where different districts are delegated specific, unchangeable tasks to maintain the system. For information to move through this city, the system must establish 2 distinct forms of identity: where a device is located and what that device actually is. An IP address works like a rotating street sign. This fluid, flipping numerical sequence routes traffic to your temporary location. The sign then dissolves to reveal the MAC address below it, an immutable serial number etched into the device's foundation, providing a permanent identity. Reliable network tracking relies on this permanent hardware footprint, which remains even as your temporary location changes. Order within the city requires rigid perimeters to filter out unauthorized external requests. These pillars represent the CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. They are the philosophical rules that govern whether the system can trust a signal. The firewall acts as a gatekeeper at this perimeter, interrogating the credentials of every incoming packet before granting access to the interior. Digital security is the deliberate application of friction to protect the core system from chaos. Every request travels as a data packet, a single glowing entity traversing a high-speed pathway towards its destination. The domain name system, or DNS, acts as a master directory. It translates a human-friendly website name into the physical coordinates the packet needs to find its way. This comparison shows how infrastructure dictates your experience. On the left, fiber optic cables move massive throughput instantly. On the right, outdated DSL lines create traffic delays along thin, twisting roads. Internet lag is often a physical limitation of the infrastructure routing your information. When we pull back from the streets and structures, the rigid digital grid dissolves into the firing neural pathways of a human brain. The CPU's logic, the short-term focus of RAM, and the long-term archives of storage were specifically designed to mirror our own cognitive processing. This blueprint removes the friction of the unknown, revealing that you already understand the system's logic. Navigating by this map grants you an intentional command over the digital environment. You have the coordinates. You are the architect.